Hey everybody, Mitch here to let you know how you can help support Pause Your Game. Head on over to pauseyourgame.com and click on our Amazon affiliate link. Every purchase you make through our affiliate link, a portion of each sales will go and help support this show. This allows us to make more episodes, more extra bits, more articles, and especially more giveaways. So head over now to pauseyourgame.com and help support the show.
And we're back this week. It is October 18th, and we have got a wonderful
October. My
podcast.
birthday's
You got a lot of great topics to look forward to.
Oh, yes,
let's run through them. Let's run through them. What
Dem hot
So we
topics, though.
No,
Hot
we're
topics.
not affiliated at all with them.
Not at all.
There is no affiliation between the two. So we talked about we had a lot. We talked about Humble Bundle, cutting some jobs. We got we theory crafted a little about Nintendo's NX. We talked about the Assassin's Creed movie. Square Enix being crazy with its demands,
Ridiculous
when it comes to
streaming restrictions based on copyright laws that should be reformed.
Yeah, we got game pre-orders and how we're angry about how they're up.
What is that?
Some of us are just not surprised.
Yeah, League of Legends about how they're all narcissists.
Yes.
And probably sociopaths and
then
psychopaths.
finally, Breaking Beth.
That's pretty much what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Resident Evil, focusing on virtual reality games and how we can bring...
And proof that Fallon is Satan.
Yeah, that's in there too. See, I mean, we got a lot of discussion, a lot of debate. It's a good episode. As with all this, if you don't want to... I always put this in the descriptions, but if you don't want to listen to the intro where we kind of just talk about what we're doing, you can just skip ahead and jump right into that episode if you want. But we're going to start talking about a few things that we've been doing and a couple things in the news for Pause Your Game. So first up, we're on Pinterest. So that's the thing.
Say we're very loosely.
We're in the Pinterest now.
It's called South Jersey Weir.
Yeah. Fallon understands and doesn't question it.
Yeah.
I question everything.
I don't think that's the case all the time.
No, you shut up.
I think you're far too go with the flow.
Shut up.
You shut up. Get
So
out
we're on Pinterest now. Obviously, there's the stuff that you'd expect for us to have on Pinterest. We got our episodes, we got extra bits, the articles, and all the other stuff that we have on there. But we also, we think that you guys will like, is we also have on there all the news that we think is interesting, in basically the stuff we may or may not use for topics. So that you can get that on there. We got deals. We got some game deals on there. So if it's what we're going to call Pause Your Game approved game, which means it's in our Amazon A store, that's on there. You can look at that. We got some screenshots and GIFs of us playing and just random crap around the internet that's game related. Like this picture right here of a Target whose light is half on, which makes it look like a Pokemon Center. So we got that on there. So, yeah,
that's cute.
And then we got the Legend of Zelda Symphony of the Goddess Orchestra that they had on the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. So that's on there too. I mean, there's just a couple of things. That's the kind of stuff we'll have on the Pinterest. So if you're on the Pinterest, then you can go find Pause Your Game Podcast. That's what it's under. It's not just Pause Your Game, Pause Your Game Podcast. But I'm sure you'll find it either way if you type it in. So we got that going on. I feel like I was supposed to say... Oh, yeah, I got another thing. I'll put this up on the website when I get around to it, but just a friendly reminder, we do have a Steam group. So if you do listen to the show and you are on Steam, just look for Pause Your Game Podcast. And I just made, literally earlier this morning, we made a PS4 community for Pause Your Game Podcast. So if you listen to this and you want to join, just search for that real fast. It's open.
I'm not allowed in. Well,
you don't have a PS4,
I don't have a PS4.
But if you do have a PS4, because I know me and Brad and we have a few listeners that do have PS4s, you can
Brad
just
and I.
whatever. I don't care. And if you want to, you can just go look that up in communities, and you can just join in. And I don't know what we'll use it for, but I mean, I figured it'll be a good, easy way for us to, have fun with some of our fans. We can play some group games together. Maybe some Rocket League or something. Who the hell knows? So yeah, you can go and do that. And then the one final thing for our listeners, if you like the show, just toss a retweet, toss a share, toss a like when the episodes go out. Help spread the word.
Give us some love.
Give us some love.
Some love.
Yeah. And I think I'm planning on doing maybe a couple of giveaways for Halloween. Maybe. I'm not going to commit to it, but if I do it, they're definitely going to be all horror games. So keep that keep that in your back. Just back of your head right there. So, without further ado, the hell have we been playing, people?
Rising Tide.
Rising Tide.
Oh, again, still for the second week in a row.
Fallon, you want to explain my
like 150 hours?
You want to explain my energy mass from last night's game?
Well, one could put forth the theory that Polystralia is a little bit OP. Having, I mean, in Civ, you start out with sponsor bonuses, and Polystralia's is like you get 2 trade routes in your capital and 1 free trade route for each of your extra cities that you have. And in Civ Beyond Earth, like Civilization proper, it's one of those things where the sponsor bonus never changed. It was one of those things where that was all you got. That was what you started with. That's what you could plan on. But in Rising Tide, what they did was they added 2 upgrades to that bonus that you could have. And they also added a number of 3 different other areas of bonuses that you could add to your sponsor. So now you have a grand total of 5 more bonuses that you can add on top of the bonus that you get, which really inflates the power and the effectiveness of a sponsor that you're playing. Now, the 3 categories of bonuses categories of bonuses that you can add to a sponsor are available for all sponsors, but the 2 bonuses you can add based on your own sponsor's bonus is particular to your sponsor. Well, Polystralia has the trade thing, and at the second upgrade, which is 2 upgrades beyond what you start with, is you get 3 trade routes for your capital and 2 free trade routes for each of your cities. Now, if you have like 5 cities, as Mitch did, and you do the math, you're basically starting off without other buildings that add trade routes and population that adds trade routes. You're starting off with 5 cities that have potentially, let's see, you have 8 trade routes for your extra cities, plus 3 in the capital, which is 11 trade routes. Add on at least 1 or 2 trade routes for population and buildings, which again adds another 5 to 10 trade routes on top of that, which is 16 to 21 trade routes that he could have. Which we got to the point where later in the game,
ferret laughing?
Yeah, he is.
He's ferret
and so basically, he got to the point later in the game where he would take like 10 minutes per turn because he would have 20 trade routes to keep track of. What this actually did was generate for him like 1,000 energy per turn. Like he was approaching that per turn.
No. I went over 1,000 energy a turn.
So he went over 1,000 energy. What this did was it's exponential in a way that just is game breaking, really. Because 20,000 energy in the bank and 1,000 energy per turn, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's basically like, okay, well, you could buy an entire city's worth of upgrades on the spot with something like that. Like, you could just grow it to 15 population with full upgrades instantly, practically, within a few turns. And so it's one of those things where you could pop an army out, endless units and win the game, I mean, domination victory, that seems to be the easiest, rather than waiting around for a wonder or anything else. You just keep on popping out units.
Well, it can go either way, because then you could totally just switch it up to, you could change all of your extra tiles that you have to academies, and you could just pump science if you wanted to.
Right, pump science, could do anything you want. So it's game breaking, really. It's one of those things where it's
it's a bunch of horseshit.
Yeah, it's a bunch of horseshit. It's a bunch of hosh and bosh. So basically, it's basically, it's OP, and it's one of the things where, I think that some balancing needs to happen.
I put a picture up on it.
It was 20,000 energy, like in the bank, and then I was like, okay.
I put a picture up on my account, and I retweeted it for Pause Your Game, so you can go and look on our Twitter account if you want to see the disgusting amount of energy I banked.
Yeah, and most of the victories and everything else ask you to be fairly insular. I mean, you have to kind of collect your shit together, put it together, build up a resources and everything else to get it, whether it's the mine flower or the gates or whatever, and lay out land for your people to settle in, or at least generate an army to send them back to Earth to emancipate them. But either way, all this stuff is like inward thinking. It's all like, okay, we got to take care of this so we can make this happen. I mean, it's one of those things where Polystralia is set up very nicely to just be completely insular. And if you leave them alone, they go off the map with their resource generation. So it's one of those things where it's like you almost have to go opposite that insular thinking and really get at them as early as you possibly can to stunt their growth. Because then, you might actually have a chance before they go off the damn map with
I am
their
always a
growth
production
generation.
powerhouse.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a bit ridiculous, but yeah. So and the computers aren't aggressive in Rising Tide that I've seen. But then we haven't played at the higher difficulties, so maybe it would be
We are
difficult to
playing.
generate.
No, we are playing on hard.
We're playing it on normal, Gemini. Is what we're playing at. Which maybe it's classified as hard, but it's a default setting, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's hard.
It's the middle one.
I'm pretty sure it's hard.
There's two settings below that and 2 settings above it. So it's the middle one.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm kicking ass.
Yeah.
Beth,
Yeah,
what are
just-
you doing?
Absolutely nothing, actually.
Oh.
This whole week I didn't really do anything. I was getting ready for a concert on Friday, so I didn't really do much.
But we'll be streaming tonight.
Yeah, we'll be streaming. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm on it.
We got more of the Diablo fun.
The Diablos.
Yeah. We put a bunch of clips out on Twitter and Facebook and on the social medias. And
Yes.
you can go listen to some of the top moments, or you can just go check out the last stream. I mean, it's all up on YouTube, so you can go look. I expect probably
Tunes.
some drinks, some hilarious conversation, and
Oh,
hopefully
yeah.
no deaths. No deaths.
Yeah, no deaths because they're hardcore.
We are doing hardcore, so yeah, hopefully no death.
No deaths.
But that should be fun.
And I would be happy to join in on that, but I don't have any characters that play on master level yet. So
But yes,
That didn't
we are-
stop us, honestly.
No, we are playing on master.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
but
doesn't mean
Beth,
you
it
can't.
does stop me. I can't play on master if I don't have. We tried this already.
Oh,
Just-
okay.
yeah.
So
And
get
we
get
could
your
drop
ass
it to
to,
expert if you want to really join along, but that's up to you.
Yeah, so I mean.
Well,
I
maybe
could-
Fallon might be there. Who the hell
Maybe.
knows? We'll see what happens. By the time you listen to this, it would have happened, so you'd know by now.
You would
but
know.
that's not the point.
If you were here,
We're-
you would know.
Yeah, but that's not the point of our recording. So, we got a great episode. It's coming at you. Great episode
Utter
coming at you.
chaos.
Give it a listen. Enjoy.
That's right. Give it a go.
Break Beth.
Oh my god, no!
It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum. And I'm all out of gum.
Ready? Here we go.
Let's do this.
Hello, everyone. We are back this
And
week.
his Pause Your Game is back. Back better than
Back
ever.
again.
You know, Mitch is giving us the what is it, the station
What?
call sign or whatever,
What-
the PYG. You know, the
What?
PYGX or something like that.
What, I don't even
Oh,
know what
God.
we're talking about.
Yeah, this is-
What is this? I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
12. What is it? I'm 12 and I don't know what this is.
Right. Yeah.
All right, so
I have no idea what I'm doing.
let's just jump right in because that was just terrible.
No, it wasn't terrible because when we have an expo someday, that's what it's going to be called, PYGX.
PYG. All right, so look forward to
You
that.
heard it here
we're gonna
first,
host
guys.
it in like a dungy corner.
Are we gonna have a ball pit?
Everybody has to start somewhere.
We're gonna have a ball pit. All right, so we got some bits. Let's go into the bits. All right, so first
The
up,
reason Mitch is rushing us is because we got a ton of content for you today.
I can't
so-
stress enough how much. So shut up. Let's get to it.
Good God.
Humble
Sir.
Humble Bundle cuts 12 of their jobs, which for those who don't know how big Humble Bundle is, that's 20% of their workforce.
Aw.
And the reason they're cutting these jobs is because Humble Bundle generally, like, I mean, that's what, like, they're charity and everything, right? That
They're partial
Basically,
charity.
yeah.
They
Yeah,
work by partial charity. So
a
like
lot of their stuff is basically like
This stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where this is a company that I would expect not to expand because they're just kind of they give away as much as they make, you know. So
Okay, they
yeah.
don't give that much away.
Well, they give quite a bit of it away.
I think it's
remember
10%.
Every interaction I've ever had with Humble Bundle is like, buy this and like half these proceeds go to some charity. And,
Now, when you buy the bundles, right? When you buy the bundles, you can set how much goes to who.
oh right that too.
But their store, if you buy on their store, it's just a flat 10%. Anything
flat.
purchased off their store, 10%
Okay,
goes
but
to charity.
all right.
Just saying. Humble Bundle still gets their cut. All right, Humble Bundle on the bundle still gets their cut.
Well,
I'm
then if they're still getting their cut, then why are they cutting 12 jobs?
I think it's because it says here that they expanded real fast. I mean, if you looked at Humble Bundle over the past years, there's now like 8 different Humble Bundles now.
Right.
I
So
mean, there's
somebody
like-
had this idea to expand Humble Bundle too
Humble
fast.
Bundle.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's hard to say.
Humble Bumble
I want to
Bumble.
I want to say Humble Bumble, right?
Humble Bumble, yeah.
And this is a Humble Bumble, but basically,
Yeah.
That's what
I see
that's
what you
what
did
the
there.
article.
Oh my God.
That's what the article should have been called. A humble bumble.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So basically,
All failures for not noticing this.
That's right. That's right. There you go. You're welcome.
Boo on them.
All
But
right.
the point I'm making here is that they are basically suffering from the same kind of corporate thinking that what was it the people who make Angry Birds are suffering
Oh,
from?
Rovio. Yeah,
yeah.
Right.
Rovio.
Yep. So once again, here we have a company that expanded too quickly, all right, and is now cutting jobs because somebody had it in their head that it's like, oh, you need to do this now, you need to do this now, you need to do this now, and we could do all these different. It's like, whoa. Hold up here. You know, you can't put the cart before the horse type of thing. You know, you need to at least allow this thing to grow in a kind of organic way. Not like, you know, this predetermined corporate structure that we expand here next, you know, according to the models that we all follow, Mitch.
Well, they just
All
went.
right?
Well,
So-
wasn't it I mean, it's their fault for going so
Mitch.
fucking fast. I mean, I wouldn't gone crazy. You
They
see
got
how?
Yeah,
a
you
little
would
too
have. I know
ambitious.
you
No,
would.
let's
Sorry,
be fair.
you know?
All right, currently with this podcast,
I am being fair.
Currently with this podcast, it's been an effort of how much can we get done with the few people we have.
That's true. That's true. But I recall days back, you know, a decade ago that, you know, you were like, oh, we got to do this next. And then we're going to do this next. And this is how the structure runs. And I'm like, whoa, we don't even have that yet. We're not even there yet. You can't treat this like that model because we're not there yet. And you're like, but this is the way it goes and that sort of thing. So, you
the way
know,
she
I mean, you were
goes.
all about delegations and things like that. It was just
Still all
like,
about trying to
And here
delegate.
you are, you know, fulfilling the role that I told you you'd end up fulfilling, which is like small business owner, which is like show up every day, be the first one to get there, the last one to leave. And, yeah, you know,
I am
just-
overseer.
right, exactly. Or you're just basically the pop of the mom and pop is just
Yeah.
basically like you're that guy who opens the shop, like
Yep.
takes care of 75% of the shit, and then is the last one to leave and close up shop by the end of the day. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Which is how a small business owner usually works. It's like they're the
Yeah.
ones putting in twice the hours of everybody else trying to keep the store running because everybody else comes and goes. So it's like one of those things where that's really how that if we're going to follow a model, that's really kind of how it starts. But Humble, but you get at some point you get.
Well, I hate to bring this announcement midstream, but Pause Your Game is cutting 20% of its jobs. Right
Yeah,
now.
yes, I know, right? God, you know, it's just.
I'm sorry,
who are
Beth.
who are
We had to
cutting?
let you go.
Who
I
are
knew
yeah.
it. I knew it. You hate me.
Well, I don't know. Brad's the one who's been bailing on a
Yeah,
number of our
Brad's
episodes
like,
lately.
He hasn't been here for like 2 months now.
No,
Yeah, he's been finding a way to not be here for like, you know, 4 out of 6 episodes in the past 6 weeks.
currently right now he's with the Force. I'll just leave it at that.
Yes, I understand, and he's not reporting on it like he should.
No, we wanted Eye in the Sky. But anyway, let's move on to the next thing. Let's move on to an actual report. And that is Nintendo's next platform has been basically developers have been getting their dev kits, and Nintendo, and within that dev kit they are learning that there is some sort of handheld function within the NX. So
Did they do this with the Wii U sort of thing?
Okay,
That's what I thought.
This is like
yeah.
we're
I'm
going.
just
This
why
is
this
like a
new
Wii
thing?
U step further, right? So
Wii U Plus. Okay.
no.
Got it. That's how Nintendo moves. That's their revolutions, right?
All right.
Is a half step for everybody else.
So the Wii U was like your tablet is bound to the home console, right? So basically what's playing on the tablet is streamed from the console. Okay. Now the NX, the theory crafting has been for the longest time that the NX is going to be essentially like if the 3DS and the Wii U were the same thing. So you could take game A, put it into your Wii U, or you could play it on your Wii U, right? And then game A, you just take the handheld component with you wherever you are. You don't need to be in like the same room because it's not streaming; it's running it. Just that, like like a reduced graphics.
So how is it getting to your handheld?
It's
Magic.
It's a hybrid system.
Yeah, I get that, Mitch, but how is it getting to your handheld?
It's okay. Think of it this way. It's real. Don't hurt yourself on this one. All right. Think of it like you have Windows on your PC and you got Windows on your laptop, right? And game A on your PC plays on there, and if you take game A to your laptop, it plays on there, but it's like a reduced, graphics and everything because it's a laptop. So it's the idea here is that to have them all together in the same, they use the same language. They're
You didn't answer the
compatible.
question. What? How is it getting to the laptop?
We don't. Well, it doesn't. That's not the point right now.
Why not? Is that the point?
If your question is it streaming to the laptop? No, it's running on the laptop. The laptop is doing the work.
Well, then what's the point of putting it into the Wii or the main computer or whatever?
So here's the idea: you play the game on the handheld portion, right? Wherever you may be. Okay. You could be outside 2,000 miles away in the Antarctic. You could be in space.
Yeah.
You're playing the handheld, and then you go, all right, I'm home now, right? Let me go stick the game into the home portion of the console, and I'll pick up right where I was, and now I got better graphics, and I'm on the TV version. You getting it?
Vaguely.
He's hurting himself. I can hear this. I can hear.
Why is this so simple for you? I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, so it saves where you are. Is that saved in a cloud server? Is that saved on the disk? I mean, how is it saved? How is it knowing?
You're like 50 miles ahead, right? Right now you're like, how's the save happen? That's not the point. The point is
baby steps, I think is what he's trying to say. Baby steps.
The point is that the systems are very compatible, and the games that'll be made for them are easily scalable. Okay, that's the only part.
This sounds like far speaking to me. This sounds like you can already do it, in some fashion.
I just explained how you could do it on a Windows computer.
I know, but I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, why does this matter? You know what I mean?
Okay, so here's
what is the sparkle magic, okay, of this particular announcement?
The sparkle magic is that you can take you no longer, I mean, your big bitch, your big bitch has been that, you're like, why, mobile is dominant, right?
Yeah,
mobile is
my bitch. Yeah.
Okay.
I call it a prediction. You call it a bitch, but
it's
okay.
a bitch. But you're like mobile's dominant. So this is a way of preserving the handheld portion while keeping the part like the home console portion that works well. Okay, and not only that, it answers the issue that Nintendo has when it comes to different like the West and the East, right? East is big on having mobile. West wants the home console. Why don't we just make a console that does both? So if you want to play it at home, play it at home. Want to go on the go? You just take the handheld portion out, and you're playing the same damn game, but wherever the hell you're at. I don't like. It's basically they're building a scalable.
Mitch, just answer one simple question for me.
Sure.
Just answer. Don't give me any shit about whether it relates or not.
Okay.
Just answer me a question.
Okay.
is it the same disc? Is it the same actual physical product?
We don't know yet.
Okay, we don't know yet. All right, so can we also, theorize that it must either be a physical disc of some kind that's going to fit into both consoles, or it's on some kind of server that you connect to with those consoles.
A two answer.
Okay.
Okay. To your second point of the cloud, I think that's a fair assumption.
Okay, so
To the other point, the other point I wanted to make was we talked about this like 2 weeks ago. That on the same note, Nintendo also put in a patent for using cartridges again in this quote new system that was left unnamed. So I would think that it's going to use cartridges also.
Okay, so it's a cartridge cloud hybrid of some kind. Okay, fine. Let's give them that. But the point I'm really interested in here is that there's a cloud involved. And basically what ends up happening here is that at least some portion of your game, whether it's the data or whether it's the actual game itself or whatever, is actually streamed to you from some kind of remote server.
No. You're not even in the ballpark, all right? Your save being kept on the cloud is fucking miles away different from...
It's true. It's a first step. But it's one of those things where...
But you're not... Okay, so when you go on Steam, right, and you go get your save, this
is already a first step, right? That's why I see
it.
You're right. You're right. That's a first step. It's not the 20 steps that I'm at down the road. You're right. But it's one of those things where it's on the path.
But you're not streaming the save.
Not yet. This is what I call future vision, Mitch. It's one of those things where it's like, this is where I live in the future. And it's one of those things where I see...
All alone!
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly. Projected forward into time by myself. But it's one of those things where, this is what I'm seeing here. I mean, basically, yes, while it's only save games and while it's only, this information is just enough stored on whatever server that you're accessing on, so most of it can be downloaded into your wherever. It's one of those things where it is a first step, on the long road.
But I just want to say, I don't know if there's actually going to be a cloud thing, but there will be a sharing of the saves.
Well, that's because you lack imagination.
It's not. No, it's not. It's because I'm not going to fucking speak on Nintendo's behalf.
I mean, Nintendo will get there 20 years from now. That's fine. Yeah.
Oh my god. So the point is that they want to have. The point is that they're going to have a scalable.
It's like a hybrid car. Like, we're going to put a battery and a gas system in here because we're not ready to go all battery yet.
No, it's like those hybrid. It's like those hybrid laptops. Think of it like those hybrid laptops where the screen just comes right off, right? And then
the transformer, like the Asus transformer thing, where it's like two separate pieces. Yeah.
Think of it like that.
Right.
All right, and they're making a scalable operating system, so it's much like your phone. You have Android for your phone, and that operates different from Android from your tablet, but it's within the same confines. So it's just it goes scale up to the bigger version, and then that's how it works. Still works.
Actually, I don't know if it scales much at all. I mean, it's one of those things where it is slightly different on the tablet, but I mean, they've got the crossover phablets. They're basically running the same system anyhow. So it's
the idea is that from a programming standpoint, it's just scaling it up. All right.
Yeah, but how much scaling is actually occurring there apart from
you have to qualify what you mean by scaling.
Mitch, this is what I'm talking about when a bit becomes a byte. It's one of those things where it's like, this is how it happens.
We take Fallon.
This is the chaos factor, right?
And you were all like, "There's nothing to talk about on this."
Right, exactly. Right? I can't be trusted.
You guys, don't listen to this man at all.
Oh my god!
Because I know I don't.
All right. So what's your? Are we done, or you got more?
I think I've already said what I feel like this is, and it's one of those things where, again, Nintendo is being the car companies here, and it's basically saying, we know you still want gas in your car, but you might want to try this battery thing too. So we're going to give you a car that does both. unnecessarily. So, you know, and it's one of those things where like people are like, oh cool, so like at a stop sign, like it's all battery, right, or it's gas, and then while I'm running, the thing turns off, and like I'm running on battery or something. It works somehow, I don't know, but I'm being green because I'm using both systems instead of just one.
I'm not even going to get into that whole thing because that's a whole tangent on hybrids that I'm not going to get into.
But you know, I'm poking the bear there. It's basically like, you have at least some voice inside you. It's ready to just burst out of its chains and go, this is a stupid idea.
There's a lot, because I'm not going to get into it. I just want to say that hybrids, there's a lot more going on that maybe they're not as green as people think,
right?
And what they imply is there's a lot more implications involved in hybrids.
Yes,
so I'll just leave it there. You do your own.
You just gotta leave
research.
it there. We're not gonna talk.
Do your own research. I'm not saying I'm against hybrids, but you should really look into how that hybrid gets there. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, so let's move on. Assassin's Creed movie. Beth, this is you. This is you.
Yes.
You're excited about this. Why are you excited about this?
Because I'm a huge freaking Assassin's Creed nerd.
Isn't that Michael Fassbender who's doing that?
Is it pronounced with a German accent for his last name?
Yeah, he's very German, so I'm pretty.
But is it? I don't think it's.
Yeah,
like,
it says Michael Fassbender.
Right, but you added.
Yeah, that's awesome. This is the guy who played freaking Magneto on X-Men First Class. I mean,
but I'm just saying that I feel like you added a
He's
U
playing
in the
Macbeth in that Macbeth movie that's coming out this December. I mean, he's a big guy. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like he's
so hot right now.
Right, he is hot right now. So it's one of those things where it's like, wow, they snagged him for an Assassin's Creed movie. How do they manage that?
Right.
So
they paid for it. They paid for it with their new theme park.
I guess he figures I played Magneto. I can do this.
Right.
So.
They say that his role in the production would go beyond simply playing the lead.
What the fuck does that mean?
Uh-oh, an actor has input on Assassin's Creed.
Oh, Jesus, we're gonna die. Well, Ubisoft. They just want to fuck everything. I don't know. I'm kind of. I'm a little bit nervous.
Where is the movie set? Is it a different?
It's a branch. I think a branch that you haven't played because I think it's set in Spain.
Yeah, it's definitely not a
no
branch we played.
Idea, to be honest.
No, there's nothing set in Spain.
I remember reading about this on IMDb because I was actually surprised they were even making an Assassin's Creed movie.
Yeah, I am not at all I'm
with Beth on this. I'm kind of like, this is born for movies.
Jesus, there's a dog dying out here.
But yeah, I don't. Is it in Spain? Because they say I'm looking up the assassin right now of like what the backstory is.
I'm pretty sure it's in Spain.
You think?
Yeah, no, I don't think. I read it. I'm pretty sure.
He doesn't think he knows.
Yeah.
Well, this movie's modeled after Batman Begins and Blade Runner. I'm a little bit concerned.
You're a little bit. You should be a little bit concerned.
I'm a lot concerned.
Yeah. This is just. I'm just reading another article.
And really, I saw that. I know what you're reading from, Beth. I saw that, and I was like, they're just throwing in two movies that they think will get people's attention. It's like Batman Begins.
No, I think you're right. It is Spain. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like a branch of the franchise that we haven't played yet, and that's smart. I honestly, God, I mean, whoever's made that decision was very smart. It's like, okay, let's instead of doing.
Let me just inform you for a second though before you give them all this credit. The games went on this tangent like 2 games ago, and hard. It went on like it's a hard.
What tangent are we talking about?
Just going on. Just they set these games. Okay, so like Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 and all its weird in betweens between that and 3. Okay, are all like they just follow a linear story that all connects in the modern day, right?
Yes.
And then they did 4. And 4 fucked everything in terms of that like linear run there of like we're going to the past, which is getting closer to the present, and then we go to the present and how that all connects. So then they came out with
my brain right here.
That's fine. That's right. That's what Assassin's Creed storyline's supposed to do. And then if your brain hurts, that's the right feeling.
They're doing it right.
You totally just made that not clear.
No, that's not me.
That's the point.
That is not me. All right, this is the Assassin's Creed storyline. Bear with me.
So how'd they muck it up?
All right, so Like I said, 1, 2, and then like the other 2s, and then 3.
Yeah.
Are linear.
Present, past, present, past, present. Got it.
They all follow this, like, we're moving closer, and then the present moves. Okay, so then they got to 4, right?
Right.
Now 4 fucked it up.
4 was the French Revolution, right?
No, 4 was pirates.
Oh, okay.
4 we were a pirate.
All the pirates.
So that's Black Flag.
Okay.
And what Black Flag's timeline, just to really fucking throw a wrench, is set before Assassin's Creed 3.
Okay.
Because we are no longer following...
Because we decided to ditch the linear thing.
Well, no. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the way it worked before was that you were following Desmond, who's the modern-day character, right?
But we weren't following him all the time, right?
No, we were. All the way 1 through 3.
So it was always
his bloodline.
Yeah,
right.
It was all his bloodline.
It was all his bloodline. So you go through him, and then that's Desmond. Desmond, a spoiler alert, but if you haven't fucking played it, it's too bad.
Oh, come on.
Desmond
died for like 10 years. If you haven't played it, you kind of...
Desmond dies, right?
Desmond
dies.
It was just real heartbreaking when I started playing Black Flag. I was just like, you fucking pricks.
Right, so then number 4 shifts over
to
you're just some...
need to die.
Yeah, number 4 shifts over to you're just some random stooge that is going through, like, his leftover memories. And then that's how you end up with Black Flag, which is technically a prequel to 3 in the timeline. Okay? And then from then on, Assassin's Creed is about random, like, other assassins not related to the Desmond, his bloodline. So they've set it up so they can fucking set it anywhere. So,
which is smart.
Well, okay. It is and it isn't. Because I just don't want you to give the movie director credit for this bullshit because they did it like 3 games ago.
Okay, so maybe so maybe the movie director didn't come up with the idea, him or herself. But basically, here's the thing. Here's the thing, and this is what Dragon Age has done. BioWare has done this in their Dragon Age games. Okay, if you're smart, the easiest thing to do when you're making another product in the same line is to make it in soil that hasn't been built on yet. I feel like, for example, that the film that they're making for Warcraft is doomed for this reason, because it's so much harder to work within an established box, of like, okay, this is what happened, everything. Ask anybody who tries to work at Games Workshop, for example, like, the lore of Warhammer or whatever. It's like, well, this has to happen here. And I was like,
well, yeah, you're right. They did kind of like free themselves when they did that.
Exactly.
They freed themselves from it.
Creatively, it's so much easier when you're like, well, let's pick this area here where nobody's touched it. And it's like, oh yeah, sure, you can do whatever the fuck you want here. And it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, as an artist or as a creator, it's like, oh, okay, blank canvas, or at least basic frame. Like, okay, we got Assassin's Creed stuff here. We know the basic thing of what's involved here. Now, we've got a completely fresh slate here to work with, and let's just completely go in whatever way we want with it. That's why, for example, like, BioWare has set out for themselves a great premise as far as Andromeda, or as far as, like, Dragon Age. Is one of those things where it's like they have more than half the world of Thetis, for example, that they haven't even touched, that they will probably move on to in Dragon Age 4, 5, and 6. It's one of those things where they could take a portion of that in each of those games and just work with those without touching the other portions. It would be nice if they link back, but it's one of those things where I wouldn't blame them for just going for a new place every time. And it's one of those things where that's what this looks like it's doing too. It's like Spain. Well, we haven't touched Spain yet. That hasn't been touched anywhere. And it's one of those things where we can totally go hog wild here with our creative imaginations without being boxed into something that's already been done. Whereas those guys working on the Warcraft movie are like, oh shit, we've got to go through the messed up timeline that is basically the Dark Portal and all that stuff, and we got to fit our ideas inside this box of things that have already happened. So not only have they already happened, people have already seen them, but we got to fit our ideas in there and basically try to be original within a box here and a frame that is not original. So that's harder. It can be done, but it's harder. So it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I think there's being smart here. Whether they intentionally are or not, I feel like it's still a smart move.
All right, well, we're glad that you agree with them.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
It's lovely.
Just a little creative insight there.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're lovely. And then for those of us who play the games, we'll still be just as confused as whatever the hell is happening.
Of course, because it's Ubisoft. And they
fuck
don't
it.
care.
Whatever is happening.
You'll be grateful that the game just works.
Right, yeah. That should be the tagline.
Yeah.
All right.
The
So
game fucking works.
yeah, +1. Game works. That's an 8.
Like
That's an 8 on the Ubisoft scale.
That's right. That's right. I mean, you're already getting an 8 from that if your game even functions. So, yeah.
All right.
Oh
All right. So next
God.
up, we have Square Enix has some of the craziest,
This is bullshit
insane
right
restrictions for streaming that we've perhaps seen. So Square Enix recently released Dragon Quest Heroes on the PS4.
Oh, my God.
What?
I just, never mind.
He's probably rolling his eyes.
I don't know why he rolls his eye. Probably don't even know what Dragon Quest is.
I do know what Dragon Quest is, although it's certainly not what it was. But yeah. Anyway, go on. Just go on. Just tell us this business.
So angry.
I just want to know why you're so bitter first.
Just keep going.
Can you explain your bitterness to the crowd?
No, just tell me what their ridiculous restrictions
Okay,
are.
so if you stream the game via Twitch, you have to turn the music off.
What?
And
Yeah.
and if you stream it for YouTube, you can leave the music on.
Yeah.
So
Why?
I don't know. That's
They're Twitchist.
like I guess
Yeah, they're Twitches.
They're Twitches. I don't know why
Nice,
that
bro.
isn't set in place. Why they cannot do that on Twitch, but YouTube is fine. I imagine this is some bullshit rights thing. But I don't know. They put out a report saying that it has something to do with whoever made the music as part of this like Japanese music group, and that Japanese music group has a big issue with Twitch, so they won't play anything that comes from them.
Wow.
Isn't that like fucking dog shit? I mean, that's just fucking. This is the problem. All right, this is the problem with copyright. Okay, it's getting even confusing to just fucking put a clip on the internet.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, what it boils down to is assertive control over a product, and so it's one of those things where yes, copyright is being abused again. For this assertive control over a product is being abused again to basically control when and where and how this product can be used or seen or whatever. I mean, it's not just controlling what was the basic premise, which was you can't copy this. Okay, this is something you can't just imitate and claim money for yourself. That's a violation there. But it's basically like, okay, you can't also show it here. You can't hear it this way. You can't view it this way. It's controlling the entire process of interacting with that product.
It's like that rule on the books or something about like I forget how this works, and if someone knows the better way of explaining this thing, put it in the comments for this episode. But it's like a non-enforced rule, but like the way the copyright is set up, anyone who would be listening, it's like if you're listening to the radio, right, and you heard a song and someone else heard that song via your radio, they would be infringing the copyright. It's totally unenforceable. No one enforces it, but it's a thing, I'm pretty sure. So like technically they should only be hearing it through their radio,
right?
Because that's the right only extends to the owner of the radio that is listening to the station. Like that's the kind of shit.
Yeah, it really is.
That's the kind of shit wrong with copyright. Like if you really wanted to be there could be literally the radio police. And that's what they do. They come around with earmuffs.
You can't listen to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like a boot. It's like a boot for your ears.
I mean, let's just go ahead and throw another apple on the pile here as far as like copyright law.
Who's throwing apples on this pile?
Yeah. copyright law needs to be reformed, as much as like lawsuit reform needs to happen in America. That needs to happen. So, but is anybody doing it? No, nobody's even touching these topics. So it's one of those things where it's like, this beast is just going to continue to mutate under the pile of apples, and
why are they under apples?
Apples are my choice of fruit today.
You hate apples?
I don't hate apples. I'm just saying that apples are what I thought of, and they seem appropriate.
All right.
So, yeah, let's move on. This is just more legal reform stuff that needs to happen that isn't happening. So,
all right, yeah, we're done with all the insanity.
That was just a
and you were worried about us running under.
I was not worried about. I mean, it was one of those things where I was hypothetically speaking. Concerned. I was saying that if for example,
don't let him lie, Beth.
Time,
you tell him.
It's one of those things where I was supposing. I wasn't worried.
Do you like to learn about the lore from your favorite games but don't have the time to read? Well, head over to audibletrial.com/pauseyourgame for a 30-day trial and a free audiobook. You can listen to all the books from your favorite series, such as Warcraft, Halo, Dragon Age, and more, all while doing other things in your life, such as driving, cooking, shopping, or simply being at work. Once again, that's audibletrial.com/pauseyourgame. Why not catch up on your favorite game's backstory right now?
Yeah, you call it what you want. Objection! That's all I gotta say on that. So let's move on to the Bytes. Yeah, see, Beth loves our little jingles. Let's dive right in. Okay.
Yeah, all right.
All right.
That was amazing.
This should bring in some hate. Game pre-orders are up 24% in 2015.
How does that even happen?
And revenue is up 33%.
Now wait a minute. Wait. Okay.
How does that happen?
Who was it that said there's a sucker born every minute?
I don't know, but that is a saying.
Yeah, it is a saying.
It is a circus guy, if I remember correctly.
Oh, but, Barnum?
Yeah, I think that's who it was. Yeah, and so it's one of those things where look, just because Ubisoft is asking you to pony up for a game that won't even work on release, and just because people are going, I like Assassin's Creed and pony up. I mean, yeah.
See, even I wasn't that foolish.
It's one of those things where this is a rolling statistical indicator of the amount of people you can fool, out of their money.
It's just getting worse and worse.
Yeah, yes, I'll tell you, there's only 3 games. I mean, right now there are 3 games that I have pre-ordered, right? And these are like...
you still have not learned your lesson.
Well, no, I mean, none of them are Ubisoft titles.
None of them are Ubisoft.
Yeah, I mean, I learned my lesson with Ubisoft. I mean, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, I will wait. I mean, I'll be busy with other stuff, so I'm going to wait till that gets cheaper anyway, but... Yeah, it's fucking not Ubisoft. Your pre-order,
so it's Monster Hunter, right?
No, there isn't a new Monster Hunter yet coming west. So what I have pre-ordered so far, I have Halo 5. That's pre-ordered.
Oh, right. Halo 5, yes.
I got Halo 5.
I'm whirling my finger for you.
I have Fallout 4.
Of course. Oh, that comes out. Does that come out this month or next month?
November.
It's like second week in November, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, shit.
Even though Green Man Gaming totally doesn't have a discount like they normally do for that.
Oh, I'm so angry.
Yeah.
And then the final thing is the HD or the remastered version of Resident Evil 0.
Are you? Oh my god.
That's all I got.
Why are they doing that?
I don't give a shit. I love Resident Evil. All right. This is like, this is like.
It's a great series and all, but the remaster of the remake is.
Yeah, he will play the old ones.
They only did that for the first one. This is Resident Evil 0, which was never. Okay.
Which is so much different.
So much different.
It is. I mean, they're making the remake for number 2, which has been like every fan has wanted since.
Yes, and he'll pre-order that too.
I will pre-order that. Yeah. I will.
Because it's Resident Evil.
Right. Exactly.
Resident Evil
2.
They make you say 2.
So anyway, that's all I got pre-ordered. So yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm
seriously, apart from people like up and coming who have never like pre-ordered a game or maybe even have pre-ordered a game that doesn't function, right? Because there's new generations of gamers constantly, arriving with wallets or at least sources of money to draw from. So the game companies are like, oh, fresh meat. But it's one of those things where there's also more and more products. I think a greater percentage of products that are offering pre-orders for their games. So it's one of those things where you have more actual quantity pre-order offers out there. So no wonder, I mean, just those two forces combined, you're going to have most likely a statistical probability increase, and that's what we're seeing here. So it's one of those things where pre-orders are on the rise. I would not be surprised to see a similar statistic with season passes. Being on the rise.
I hope season pass is fucking burn in hell.
Yeah, but I would not be surprised if, again, we came out with statistics that said season passes were increasing.
I figured after the last few, everyone got burned enough, but I guess not. I mean, we'll find out. We'll see.
I don't know for certain, but I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, because the last few did quite a bit of burning.
Yeah, well, pre-orders have done quite a bit of burning too, and it's one of those things where it's like, yet here we are. So... this is a case where there's clearly problems with the model that is on paper succeeding. So yeah.
All right.
Hey.
Anything else to say?
No.
Well, this should have been
so
a bit.
So much fucking bullshit.
Yes,
I
there
hate
you go.
Pre-orders.
And Brad would say the same thing if he was
right. Preach it, Beth. Preach it.
This is shitty. This is so fucking shitty.
There you go.
Pre-orders are stupid, and they're stupid.
Just out of curiosity.
I'm channeling Brad here.
Yeah, there you go. Just out of curiosity, what's the last game everybody pre-ordered? I mean, I just gave mine, so I'm good.
I haven't Rising Tide.
I haven't pre-ordered anything in years. So
really?
I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, I actually pre-ordered Assassin's Creed,
Beth got us
and then I never
things.
Picked it up. So.
Which Assassin's Creed?
I think it was 3.
Oh. All right.
Yeah. That's how long ago it was, and I never fully paid it off, so I got my $5 back from GameStop.
Woo! Got yourself a Lincoln in your pocket.
That's right.
All right.
Which I promptly used on food. Probably.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, let's move on. There's an inside joke in there that I'm laughing at, but okay. So League of Legends, Fallon, you want to take this one? Because you seemed particularly thrilled about this one.
Well, yeah, so basically the breakdown is that League of Legends
thinks you're all children. That's what I took away initially from this.
Riot, yeah. Well, we've talked about Riot before in their ongoing efforts to try to tame their wild and woolly player base. And we have talked about the MOBA player base in colorful terms before on this show throughout the months. So it's one of those things where I believe at one point Mitch applied the cesspool term to the entire MOBA player base, and League of Legends is one of the games that falls within that genre. So,
you heard that System of a Down song, the toxicity? That's that. That's what they're referencing. It's not an actual city. It's MOBA players.
Yeah, exactly, right. So here we are. Riot is at least trying to do their part to say, okay, guys, we're going to try to civilize you a little bit. And bring you into some kind of form of Homo sapiens that we can recognize.
I think the British said something similar too when they went
right. Yeah, there is a hint of a colonialist agenda here, but basically here's the big deal with this. When you basically there's this thing where inappropriate, when they choose inappropriate names, right, for their summoners or whatever, right? It used to be that they were basically they were forced to take another name. They got a temporary name until they picked out a new name, and they had to go through a ticketing process for that. Now, when a name is inappropriate, they're asked to be part of a survey, and this survey is based on a number of different psychological profile tests of, like, for example, the narcissistic personality inventory survey, the aggression scale, and various other, research-based survey/test, diagnostic tests to determine, how psychologically maladjusted you are. And so, it's one of those things where...
how unprepared you are for society.
Yes, exactly. So it's one of those things where you get questions like, okay, on a scale of 1 to 6, how many times did you threaten to hurt or hit someone? How many times have you said things about others to make people laugh? How many times have I got angry very easily with someone? I mean, Brad would be completely he would be in the red zone for a lot of
max amount on all of these.
I was angry most of the day. I called other people names. I pushed or shoved other people. I encouraged other people to fight. I mean, most of us would be guilty on this scale. And it's one of those things where it's like, So the big deal here, the thing I really liked was they're on Reddit. Oh my God. And the irony here of an intelligent comment from someone on Reddit. I mean, it does happen.
Reddit has its moments.
It does have its moments. It's really there's no way to tell when this is going to happen, but yeah. So basically,
Reddit is the. I just want to interject here for a second.
This Reddit user, Hateful Wretch, says, I know Riot doesn't owe us anything is a meme here, but this is different. Informed consent is the absolute cornerstone of all ethical research. For that, you need enough information as to the nature of the study, how the data will be stored, shared, and used, etc., in order to give informed consent. I see no sign of that here, and it is a very serious breach of research ethics. He's right on the money. Obviously, Hateful Wretch is some kind of doctoral or graduate student. Either that, or he's on the IRB board of some college. It's one of those things where the internal review board for academic research. Unbeknownst to most of the population, when you're doing research in academia, you have to pass an internal review board to make sure that your research is, quote, ethical, so that you're not actually testing on people and messing them up in ways that would be legally considered reprehensible, so it's one of those things for the sake of science, but so basically, you're barred from doing that in general. You can't just go all GLaDOS on somebody, for science and basically test them into some kind of injurious state. So it's one of those things where it's he's right about this. There are ethical limitations and restrictions on research. So my question is, did Riot, in bringing in these research surveys and things like that, which could, I feel games are already being subject to research, which is fine. I think that's fine. But it's one of those things where it's is the agreement, is the consent in the EULA? Is it somewhere else where it's people just scroll down the form and hit accept? It's one of those things where, is it in there or is it not? If it's not in there, they're definitely in trouble. If it is in there, then it's kind of arguable back and forth, because as Mitch would say, well, nobody freaking reads that, and he's right. Nope. But it's one of those things where, and there's an ethical obligation to make sure people read that or at least understand what they're getting themselves into. But obviously, the EULAs have extended themselves out to dozens of pages long. Yaw!
That's you're calling Cthulhu or something.
Yes, exactly. That's definitely an indication of where our legal system is. But it's one of those things where, So it's basically that's where the gray area begins. And it's okay, well, you did hit accept. The fact that you didn't read it is back and forth here. Well, maybe you couldn't read it. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you weren't aware. I think he's definitely right. Hateful Wretch on Reddit is definitely right. What a wonderful name. When he says that they definitely do need to make people aware that, okay, we are doing this for research purposes. We're testing on you, or we're basically saying we're getting a sample of your psychological mindset, and you're going to consent to this or not. And it's one of those things where, would any of these trolls actually consent to it if they knew? If they were half aware of what it is they were consenting to? I don't know. But it's one of those things where this kind of survey I'm not even really sure about, because it's one of those things where it's well, I could answer a considerable number of these to the striking degree all the way over to the right, which makes me kind of okay, well, yeah, so am I being tagged as narcissistic or
you are narcissistic,
maladjusted. I mean, it's
those all are great descriptors for you.
You'd say that, right? Even though you yourself would totally fit a lot of these too.
Who the hell? I mean, let's be honest. Who doesn't have a bit of narcissism?
Right, that's my point I'm making. I'm like, okay, you know,
who doesn't get angry easily on the internet?
Yeah, right. And narcissism is a term that they've really blown up and thrown around for a lot of things right now. I think that it's being perhaps misused more often than it's being used correctly. I mean, when I see people taking selfies of themselves 500 times a day, that's narcissism.
That is a unique modern brand.
You know what, be honest, I take 500 selfies because I look ugly in every single one of them, and I'm trying to find a good one. Okay,
so for Beth, it's just correction, but for most, it's just because I am totally an inner narcissist. I'm just not trying to get people to kill each other.
yeah, but a
narcissist light, if you would prefer. Our
society has become, and there's an argument for saying with selfies in particular, right? Selfies are very easy. You're taking a picture of yourself,
like taking candy from a baby.
You don't get more directly narcissistic than that. Narcissus is a mythological figure who stares at himself in the pool of water and gets transformed into the flower by the same name that basically looks downwards into the pool that it grows from. So it's basically like there's your mythological scientific, background to that. Narcissism deals with an obsession with oneself. And so it's one of those things where even if you're being discriminating about your pictures, the fact that it matters so much that you go through 500 pictures of yourself, that's an indication of narcissistic aspects. That doesn't make you a narcissist, but it is a narcissistic behavior. It is like, okay, I really need to get the perfect picture of myself. I'm going to look through all these pictures of myself. I just need to make sure I get the right one.
You gotta get the upper angle,
and not for nothing, Beth, but our whole society, our whole society with selfies and selfie sticks and selfies with everything, and social media has pushed a number of people, a whole percentage of the population, towards this behavior. So it's one of those things where it's opened up a technological means by which
I'm gonna say I don't think it opened up people to this behavior. I think we always had the behavior. It's just now it's way more.
Yes,
apparent.
But whereas the Fonz would look at himself in the mirror and go, "Jesus, I'm good looking." It's one of those things where I mean now.
No, he would go A.
A, yeah. It's one of those things that he would think that, but it's one of those things where it's like it's all there. But it's one of those things where now it's become like something you share with other people and all that stuff. It's not just about looking at yourself. It's about making others look at you, in the right way and that sort of thing. But that's why the point here, a lot of these have to do with, I teased someone to make them angry. I fought back when someone hit me first. I slapped and kicked someone. I don't see these as narcissistic behaviors. I see these as just kind of trollish behaviors. It's like, I'm going to irritate you. I'm going to poke the bear. I'm going to, make you get angry. Pokery. Yeah, I'm going to make you get angry.
Bear pokery.
I'm going to bully you. I slapped or kicked someone. I was angry most of the day. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, this is just generally angry.
I slapped and kicked somebody. What are you, in preschool? Jesus.
Right, exactly. God. I mean, some people, slapping that's foreplay, It's like,
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Funny how that changes over the years.
Right.
The weirder it gets.
Right, exactly. So it's like, I'm not sure how accurate these psychological surveys really are for there's a lot in our society that we welcome that somebody innocent might go, wow, that's really messed up. And the rest of us are like, yeah, isn't it though? It's so
cool. That's kind of like
I enjoy this greatly.
That's terrible. That's like the look at the freak response.
Right.
Terrible. All right.
So I don't know. I mean, I think there's definitely, this is very hairy and woolly as far as an issue is concerned. I think Bride is perhaps going a little far with this, but I support using gamers and games for research. I mean, why not? It's a social vector that matters.
Yeah, they're lab rats. It's all right.
Yeah, I mean, really, this is the same as doing the Pepsi challenge with normal people in the street. It's one of those things where it's like, you need to do science, right? You need to do science, and you've got tons of people out there waiting to be subjects for your science experiment. So it's one of those things where it's like, get consent, do the ethical research, sure, but science on them. I mean, why not?
Why the fuck not?
Yeah, I'm waiting for that research release. It's like League of Legends players to find nearly all of them are entirely
maladjusted. Yeah,
in need of
psychological counseling,
or sociopathic.
Right. I mean, these are the people who should be. I mean, we're going to require further research.
Right. Exactly.
Then the next infraction, you're going to get a piece of mail. That's just going to be like, you've been selected to come to our facility.
Right, exactly.
Yes, play
like
here.
It'd be like a horrible version of Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. It's like,
right.
We love you. Come on, you just won the golden ticket. Come on down.
Come on down to Riot's research facility.
That's right.
Underground basement 3. Like,
that's right.
Like, whoa.
Here's your portal gun.
Don't forget to have
free replica portal gun with every.
That's right.
Oh god! All right, let's move on to our final bite that we're going to talk about, and that is we have Resident Evil. It has been announced that now Capcom basically has 4 teams. All right, 4 divisions of teams, and division
the future. That's what we're talking about here.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the future. So Capcom has 4 divisions, and basically Division 1 is their big title division. You know, so they work on Resident Evil and a few other of the mainstays of Capcom.
Yeah. We're not interested in those guys.
Well, I'm just explaining. So they've come out basically and saying that they are now having a shifted focus to virtual reality, and
the future.
I think that's a good idea for Resident Evil, honestly.
The way of the future.
I would love to explore mansions.
I
would love to go through the mansions in virtual reality. I think that would be fucking cool as hell.
I'd probably honestly shit myself.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
That's also cool. Anytime Beth is just scared.
Some diapers because I will piss myself.
I mean, because here's the thing. Now, we all laughed at Beth, and Beth is kind of
of course, everyone laughs at me.
Yeah. It's one of those things where we all had a great time when Beth played Five Nights at Freddy's the first time.
Oh my god,
I died.
And so I want you
Comedy
to imagine.
gold.
I want you to imagine for a moment, okay, that we put Beth through a new kind of trial. You know, I know that Beth is kind of our beaker here. So it's one of those things where, yeah, exactly. So it's like, come on into this virtual headset, Beth. Come on. And it's like, so it's like, yeah. So we put her into this. Now imagine for a moment a virtual headset that kind of fastens itself on and you can't like get it off easily, right? And then suddenly it's more powerful.
I can't fling it.
It's more, that's right. It's more powerful.
What is it? What is it? One made by Saw? Like,
right, exactly. That's what I'm trying to imagine here. It's like, you know, you could take
Helen,
this to another level.
Puppy.
Yeah, so it's like here I'm sitting here for science, right? Because we want at some point, if we're going to bring in the research angle, we want to measure best brain waves and adrenaline spikes and things like that.
Heart
so
rate.
you could easily have the headset monitor these things, right, while she's going through this. So not only are we getting this comedy gold, but we are also completing valuable research. So it's one of those things where, and Beth is unable to get the helmet off, right? So it's one of those things where this is a powerful virtual reality simulator, and suddenly she is in Five Nights at Freddy's, right?
Why would you do that?
Yeah, it's one of those things where she can't turn the game off, she can't run away. It's something she's stuck in.
That's gonna be. I'm calling it right now. That's gonna be like hard mode. Or like hardcore mode?
Yeah, hardcore mode. And worse yet, this headset will stream like the whole biological biometric reactions and everything else. Like you will be able to see when Beth is completely biologically and psychologically freaked out on multiple levels. Right?
Why you break me? Why you want to break me?
It's beautiful.
My God.
It is the future nexus of all of these technologies coming together.
I just want it to be where I can go through the mansion with a headset. I think that would be really cool in a Resident Evil setting.
Yours is so innocent.
Yeah.
Like, I would want it, you know, like you can open up the drawers, you find the keys that lead to the doors, that lead to puzzles, that you shoot at zombies.
I
want that. I would totally want that. I want that, like, you know, I want to open the drawer.
He's so innocent.
It's so innocent. It's adorable.
It's like, what do you want out of it? I'm like, I just want to go through the mansion like it's an actual mansion.
vision.
That's all I want to do.
I want to fucking break Beth.
Yeah. like yes. I mean, just tell me this isn't going to happen. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, it may be a black market thing, right? You know, where these headsets like affect you like emotionally and psychologically.
I'm sorry. Now I'm having like a
panic attack
moment.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You know,
get
that's
stuck in there. What if you get your fucking
right
stuck in there? What is wrong with you, Fallon?
Yeah. The way of the future, Beth. I'm concerned with the future.
I'm not getting stuck in a machine.
And as I've already told people, the future is a dystopian hellscape, and that's the future.
That's like I'm not getting Matrix.
Very wordy. I like that.
Yeah.
Very verbose.
Yes, exactly.
Very nice.
Yes. So that it's an eloquent vision of a dystopian hellscape.
I know. I feel so innocent in this, where I'm just like, I just want to go through the mansion like it's a mansion. Like that's all I want. Like I want to open a drawer. There's a key that unlocks the door.
Right. Exactly.
Door.
And I'm giving you the Matrix. God. Basically.
The Matrix of horror.
Yes, absolutely. How else could it be? You know what I mean? It's one of those things where, you know, you're the Matrix of horror. You know, because once you take away the limitations of, like, for example, reality, as far as like we live it, you know, as far as like legal laws and everything like that. Imagine
what Fallon wants is like, if you've ever heard of the anime Sword Art Online, where they like just kind of dive right in and that's where you're at. That's what Fallon wants.
Sword Art and dot hack.
Yeah, he wants that. Yeah. You're just in it. Like it's
you
not
see
like...
how these are coming together in my vision. I mean, they all interface. Seamlessly, really.
He just wants you plug in and then you're gone, man. You're just
you're gone. World. Yeah. And you are in an post-apocalyptic wasteland, you know, of nightmarish
Fallout 5.
Right. Fallout 5 combined with Cthulhu and Resident Evil and all the rest of it. Like, it's one of those things where there's no boundaries now. Imagine League of Legends players in a world where they can interact.
Virtual reality.
Oh God!
Yes, exactly, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm seeing. You know. You
know what? You know what's interesting though about that I like with the whole VR thing is that I feel like games are getting like back to basics in a weird way. You know, where it's like, you know, NES was like, what did you have? He runs across the screen and he jumps. All right. In VR, like, although it's a lot more complicated what's going on, like the action that you're performing is pretty straightforward, right? So it's just like, what are you doing? It's like, I'm fucking I'm going through a mansion, right? Like that's it. It doesn't feel as gamey. I like that. I look forward to that. That it's kind of like back to basics in a very...
So that when a dog jumps through the window, right, and attacks you and seizes your flesh in its mouth, I mean, you will feel it, right? There will be an actual nerve response.
Well, I mean, to be fair, in that portion of Resident Evil, the far more scary thing is the carpeting in that hallway. I just want to be clear here. That's far scarier than this dog jumping out at you.
Right. Well, yeah, the hallway, you know, or whatever. I mean, it's one of those things where this is the kind of thing where your brain will not be able to distinguish what is reality and what is not after heavy usage of this. I mean, you know, it will be a point where you can't go to sleep without seeing the Five Nights at Freddy's, you know, bear like in your face.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah, I'm telling you.
I'm
asking you. What is wrong with you?
I'm ready to embrace this, Beth. You know, this is the future.
As long as it's not you, right?
No, I would fully become the bear. You know, it's one of those things. I'm ready to, you know, enact the nightmares of children upon them.
And I think that's a perfect place to stop.
Satan, calm down.
It's a perfect place to stop for this episode. So we're glad you enjoyed. Please leave in the comments how Fallon is insanity. We'll see you all next week.